This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. Right now, we're living through a pandemic. And I'd like to talk about something which I feel is pandemic in police agencies and correctional agencies throughout the country, if not the world. And that pandemic is negativity. I'm a moderator and an admin on a few police and correction sites. And invariably, we get officers that are new. They're excited to get the job, whether it's a correctional officer, whether it's a police officer. They're excited. They're looking for advice, and they'll ask people, what advice can you give me? And invariably, you've got somebody who says, quit, get out, run now. You know, if that's your attitude, you quit, you get out, you run now. You're not doing anything to promote your profession. You're not doing anything to enhance your profession. You're not doing anybody any good by having an attitude like that. Now, I understand we all work in negative environments. I'm lucky as a police officer because I work in communities that wave at me with all their fingers. They're appreciative of the police. But still, there are times where I have to deal with domestics, or I have to deal with bar fights, I have to deal with negative situations. And it's bound to leave an impression on you. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be negative about my entire job. And it's the same in corrections. At corrections, you're working in a negative environment 90% of the time that you're there. You're working with inmates who don't like you. You're working with upper administration who perhaps doesn't understand you. And it's real easy to fall into the negativity. When you get a new officer and you tell him, quit, leave now, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to find something else. If you're that unhappy in your chosen profession, you're just leading a miserable existence, and you're really no good to anybody else. Now, have there been times in my career where I've certainly been down or had bad feelings? Yeah, there are. But you know what? I didn't express those to people. You know, years ago, when I was a shift commander on first shift, I had a lieutenant. The guy's name was Rob. Rob was like a squirrel on crack, just full of energy. Whenever we'd head down to the muster room in the morning to greet the 100 and some odd officers that worked for us, one or the other of us would look at each other and say, let's make it a good day. We didn't look at each other and say, here we go again, you know, another day in paradise, living the dream. You know, the usual BS you hear from people, you know, when they're dissatisfied with their job or whatever. Now, I'm not saying go on and put on a happy face and run around and act like you're happy, happy, joy, joy, but be realistic. The job you have is a job you should be proud of, whether you're working in corrections or whether you're working as a police officer. You have a job that the vast majority of people in the country not only don't want to do, but are unable to do. You should take pride in that job. Don't negate the pride of new people coming into the job by saying quit, leave now, find something else. All you're doing is creating dissension. All you're doing is stripping the pride away from a new person who feels a pride in their job. Now, as an old person, I still take pride in my job. I take pride in the way my uniform looks. I take pride in the way I do my job. I take pride in the way I treat people. I'm never going to tell anybody, living the dream. Because you know what? I'm lucky to have the job I have. I'm blessed to have the job that I have, just as the majority of you are. So if you don't like your job, leave. You're not doing anybody a favor by sticking around. If all you're doing is filling a hole, taking up a spot, and breeding negativity, leave. So until next time, this is Keith Helwig. Watch your back and stay safe.